Are you excited about this gig tonight?
This is big. It's probably going to be the biggest thing since Tinkers stole the church bells.
Yeah, so I didn't live in a city as big as Swansea. Didn't even really, strictly speaking, have a hometown or a home village. I had a hamlet called Quarley. What are the chances of them being family related? Yeah, Quarley was a bunch of houses clustered hopefully around a church, which was closed. Being young in Quarley was basically the same as being young anywhere else. Before you can get into the pub, you basically just hang around in little groups around any sort of arbitrary meet point, the bus stop or the corner shop, you know, just talking nonsense and doing stupid stuff. But it was like that in Quarley too, except in Quarley there weren't any buses, so we didn't have a bus stop, and it was too small for a corner shop, so that was gone. And the only person my age was me, so the little group that I hang out with, just me. It's quite hard hanging out by yourself. You have to fight the urge to sort of go indoors, watch the telly. The day we moved into our house, my mum went round to the neighbours to introduce herself, and the lady of the residence was a lady called Landra, a more feminine and pretty version of the name Land Rover, which was wasted on her. And she welcomed my mum with these words: "This ain't good for us. We keeps ourselves to ourselves." Turns out that keeping yourself to yourself is pretty typical of the rural Hampshire mindset. The population is spread very thinly. There's 161 people in Quarley, at an average density of 1 every 10 acres. You get a better sense of community on an EasyJet flight. You just literally can't find each other. You know? Keeping yourself to yourself can be a good thing, but it can also go too far. I first understood this at about age 11 when I found a stash of porn in the woods. Now, not a little bit of porn, armfuls and armfuls of wet, beetle-ridden porn. Now there's, don't judge. Now there's something worrying about the mind of anybody who can masturbate whilst staring at the horizon. That person has nothing to lose. I found the porn disturbing. It was also situated 15 metres from a road which sometimes saw as many as 12 cars passing a day. Now, by Quarley standards, that's a lot. It's the equivalent of masturbating off of a flyover on the M25. There's something about the mind of somebody who can sort themselves out in plain view of traffic. That person has nothing to fear. But the worst thing about the porn was the amount of effort it obviously taken to get it there. It wasn't just there was a lot, there was lots of different titles. Now, procuring pornography in the Quarley, Monkston, Greatley, Tri-Hamlet area is actually quite difficult. It's even harder to try and procure different titles. You have to get your Razzle from here and your Hustler from there. There's something about the mind of somebody who'll make many trips a month to their little porn stash, bringing Playboy one week and Reader's Wives the next, like a furtive little porn squirrel preparing for a wank winter. That person has no brand loyalty. Yeah, keeping yourself to yourself went further than that. It also sort of informed the sort of rural politics of the place. Basically, anybody with anything to say in a place as small as Quarley looks mental because there's nobody to say it to. Now, the Countryside Alliance had this bumper sticker which read, "The countryside counts, listen to us." Now, I know bumper stickers are always a bit desperate, but this kind of went further because as a tagline, "listen to us," it's pretty weak. It kind of assumes that nobody was. It kind of made me think of somebody trying to fly a herd of cows and getting angrier and angrier as they listen. But an even more hysterical example could be found in the next village over recently. It's a village called Monkston. Now, Monkston's not a lot bigger than Quarley. Oh, yeah, bear with me a second. No, that's fine. No, that's not fine. Yeah, Monkston's not a lot bigger than Quarley, so it's got a lot of single track roads. Oh, it's got horses. Yeah. Okay, so Monkston's got a lot of single track roads and a 30-mile-an-hour speed limit, which is quite slow, but not slow enough for the people of Monkston. Basically, they started putting up signs around the village which just said, Monkston demands 20. Not wants, needs, or asks for. Demands. It's so arrogant, you know, like they get the right to veto the rest of our rules, you know. Just because they can't see anybody doesn't mean there's nobody there. Basically, they didn't get, as you can imagine, most people can't stick to the speed limit anyway, so they didn't get their 20 limits. So what they started doing was sinking lower, actually sticking fake 20 limits over the 30-mile-an-hour zone to try and trick you into going to the speed that they wanted you to, you know? So unreasonable. They're like terrorists, you know? If you give them what they want, they get the idea they can just demand things and they'll get granted. So I make a point now of driving through 90 through Monkston. Every time I go through it, just nailing it straight past the school, past the corner shop, swerve at the kids a lot, you know. You can't gamble with these people, man, I'm telling you. Okay, so yeah, this poem is a list of all the things that Monkston would demand if it were to be given the 20-mile-an-hour limit that it so desperately seeks. Monkston demands 20 for its local speed limit. Monkston demands your respect when you visit. Monkston demands a big church with a big spire, a big organ, and a big bunch of grinning people singing in it. Monkston demands a bigger gymkhana. Monkston demands that you give it an answer. Monkston demands the right to stay home and eat pricey ice cream in its pyjamas. Monkston demands the post office reopens. Monkston demands free grocery tokens. Monkston demands a lifetime supply of perfume, soap, and exfoliant lotion. Monkston demands its own police station. Monkston demands much lower inflation. Monkston demands you stash 10 grand in cash under its mattress in a vintage cake tin. Monkston demands its own armed forces. Monkston demands some natural resources. Monkston demands that they pass a law to lock up anybody who doesn't love horses. Monkston demands a private jet, a pleasure boat, a swimming pool, a sauna, a wet room, a leather sofa, a postie, a toastie, a devoted life coach, a fridge freezer, a blender, a juicer, a toaster. Monkston demands things it hasn't paid for. A road, a bypass, a prize-winning racehorse, an arcade, a pier, an immaculate golf course, an airstrip, a helipad, a launch pad, a spaceport. Monkston's... I practiced, you know, I practiced. Monkston's demands are notes sinking in bottles. Its demands are sandcastles. They're crap matchstick models. Nobody listens, or ever appears to, because out in Monkston, nobody can hear you. Cheers. Yeah.